Howdy folks, welcome back to the Workbench. Today is part one of a series I'm going to do on refurbishing this. What is this, you may ask? Well, this is a solar powered RGB LED controller for our mailbox. So we have a brick mailbox with some clear blocks, and the wife wanted some lights in it. So rather than buy something off the shelf, I built something. And it's a little rough. It's been outdoors for about 7 years. So this is the solar panel, and I didn't do a very good job using weather-resistant components. So you can see this. The bolts here are rusty. The reason it's off is because the wiring was falling apart. I don't know if that'll get it in focus, but this wire is just trash. It's not outdoor rated wire. I started to replace the photo sensor. It's just a CDS cell with something better, and that's when I realized all the wiring was shot. So I've taken it out. I'm going to redo it, and I'll document some of that here on the channel. But I'll just kind of briefly go over what I've got here. This obviously is a solar panel, and there's also a photo cell so it can tell when it's dark. And then the LEDs themselves are just your bog standard addressable RGB LEDs. They're in pairs on these little circuit boards. And I had this clear round tube at the time, so that hangs vertically inside the mailbox. I can't really show you, but hangs vertically inside the mailbox and has lights on it, and that's what we see light up. So there are 6 pairs of LEDs on that, and then that hooks up to the controller. Now I had redone a year ago with some weatherproof connectors on some of this, so there's one of those nice weatherproof connectors. That goes back to this control box here, and it's sitting on a battery just because it glares so much when it's sitting like that. So I had a battery to prop it up. So this is a nice weatherproof box that I've stuffed everything in, electronics wise, and it has a couple connectors. This connector is what hooks up to the lights where you just saw there, hooks up to that connector. And it had previously used just a regular old computer, like hard drive, old style power connector, which this still uses for the power and the light sensor input. So that needs replaced because this wiring is getting bad, and that is not a good weatherproof connection. I don't have any schematics or anything. I just kind of built this, and it kind of evolved. But I'll go over briefly each component inside here. So I'm going to take the top off of that. So of course we have our LiPo battery. This is a 3.7 volt, 2500 milliamp battery. I also replaced that last year, so it's looking pretty new. I did a little maintenance last year. Didn't notice the wires were that bad. And that is the wrong angle for glare. Now inside of here, I've got a little, I think it's an AT, I don't remember which Arduino it is, but it's a little AT Mega basically. I'll try to put some description of part numbers down in the video description. So that's the brains, and then this little spring here, there's a little RF serial board, so it talks over RF serial link back to a base station. And that's how I can tell it, hey, you want to display this color, and change various settings on it. Underneath here, you can see there's a big capacitor right there on that board. That is a solar charge controller. So the power comes in, and that monitors the battery and provides power. And then there's a physical switch here that disconnects the battery from everything. So if I turn that on, I don't know if the lights will show up on camera that well, but it has little status lights. It will do its thing, and it basically just glows through different colors. You can set a solid color, you can have it cycle through the colors, basic stuff like that. So that's all stuffed in that weatherproof box. And then I have a little, I think this is a NodeMCU, basically a Wi-Fi microcontroller, and this is the base station. It has another one of these little RF boards, so it talks serial over RF. Back and forth between the controller and this little base station. And this little base station has Wi-Fi, so it's on my IoT network here in the house. And I can talk to it and do various things. I'll try to remember to put a screenshot of the web interface in the video. So part one, I just kind of wanted to go over what I had, what I need to do. Everything inside the box here is pretty much fine. I just need to replace some of these external wires. I need to get some like UV rated wiring, and I just sealed this up with hot glue, so the hot glue is had a rough life out there inside the mailbox. The first battery lasted about 6 years. I was kind of surprised because the inside of the mailbox is a very extreme environment. It gets up like 140 degrees Fahrenheit all the way down to 0 or so in the winter. And so it survived pretty well. And of course I need to redo all this wiring around the outside of the solar panel and get that squared away. So I'll be doing some more videos on this as I get time to work on it. All the components themselves are fine with the exception of the photocell. This is a replacement one. And what I did was I just bought one of those little electric eye things, and I think this plastic here is hopefully UV rated. So I've taken the plastic off of that. Hopefully it will protect a little more. So that'll be it for this one. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.